degree that guarantees you immediate return and a clear career path upon graduation, versus one that teaches you understanding of humans, values, and society and culture, which one would you pick? Most of us would probably choose the more practical option, and this instance actually reveals the direction higher education has taken. Nowadays, STEM is increasingly seen as the mark of progress, while humanities are treated as secondary or even expendable. Now, I would like to make this very clear, this is not an anti-STEM speech. I believe that science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are no doubt an indispensable part of our human development. What I'm trying to portray here today is that gradually, STEM comes to dominate not only university funding and student choice, but it also rewrites our collective imagination towards what counts as valuable knowledge. So, let's begin with explaining why there is this downfall of humanities. First, there's institutional pressure. Universities with financial strain often prioritize programs that have higher enrollment rates and larger external funding, while humanities departments, often seen as less profitable, are among the first to be trimmed or marginalized. And this creates a vicious cycle. Fewer resources brings fewer students, fewer students bring weaker visibility, and weaker visibility once again leads to fewer resources. Secondly, there is this powerful cultural narrative. Humanities are often described as vague, impractical, or soft, where in comparison, STEM is often framed as future-oriented, vigorous, and modern. This kind of using of language shapes the way students, employers, and even policymakers assess the worth of education. Now let's flip the coins and look at why is there this rising of STEM. First, STEM is tightly linked to job market. Fields such as healthcare, data analytics, or engineering are often viewed as pathways towards long-term and stable employment. STEM, being a discipline tightly linked to these job opportunities, are often viewed as a promise towards stable mobility. Secondly, there is also this use of innovative language. STEM is often represented as the engine of national growth, economic resilience, or even global competitiveness, which not only brings its practical prestige, but also brings its symbolic prestige. And here is where the problem becomes more serious. You see, when higher education prioritizes STEM almost exclusively, the consequences is not simply humanities departments being survived or not, but it's about what kind of people universities are producing. Surely STEM benefits the society a lot, but if its graduates are trained mainly to optimize the systems rather than question it, then we are producing fine lines that are highly competing yet insufficiently reflective. The downfall of humanities therefore reveals a subtle yet significant change in our society in the way that we value human lives. That is quality that cannot be quantified or seen as less worthwhile, such as imagination, active listening, critical thinking are beginning to be seen as unnecessary. Over time, culture prices efficiency over wisdom, productivity over understanding. Yet a society cannot thrive on speed alone. It also requires historical recognition, collective memories, and most importantly, the ability to ask the difficult question about what the progress is actually for. So, once again, the issue is never about whether STEM is useful or valuable. It clearly is. The real question is whether higher education believes that human understanding deserves to stand beside technical expertise rather than beneath it. A university should not force students to choose between usefulness and meaning. Ideally, it should help them to become both effective and thoughtful, both humane and skilled. So before we lose the intellectual habits of interpreting complexity, I would like to end this speech with a question. If humanities are continued to be dismissed as secondary or unnecessary, what kind of future are we actually building for ourselves to inhabit? Today, many of you here today are future engineers, doctors, lawyers, or business leaders who are all going to make big decisions that touches real lives. I'm here today to remind you and encourage you that your work matters even more when it is guided by ethical thinking, cultural awareness, and a sense of human responsibility, which is all embedded in the teaching of humanities. Thank you.